Here is Immortal Moments for explanation. Friends, like videos and subscribes to our channel. Immortality Season 6 Episode 42 Explanation. So let's start our explanation. The so-called small fate is actually a mysterious syllable. It is not a specific practice. It is all about comprehension and enlightenment. Fang Han temporarily stored these syllables in his mind and thought back and forth. When there is time, he will go to specific enlightenment and practice. He has a lot to cultivate now. First of all, Tai's town teaches catastrophe, and he is ready to practice. However, the rule of heaven and earth in the top 10 of the 3000th Avenue is very difficult to cultivate. It has not been hundreds of years, and it is difficult to make a small success in the last 1,000 years, let alone a big one. Second, the big chaotic Leifa. It is also a branch of the great chaos in Santian Avenue which must be cultivated. The 3000 Avenues is the supreme rule that flows out of the door of immortality in the immortal world. Every time there is more than one cultivation, there will be all kinds of incredible abilities. The more you cultivate, the greater the benefits. Therefore, as long as it is the magical power in the 3000 Avenues, it must be cultivated. Fang Han is preparing to cultivate the undead body and recultivate the magical power. If you can't open the Huangquan treasure house and get the big reincarnation, then all the magical powers outside the 3000 Avenues will be refining into the 8 floating sects, only practicing 3000 Avenue. Because you know the 3000 Avenues, all kinds of supernatural powers can be derived, and one method is smooth and unobstructed. And if you understand the little fate, you can actually abandon Shouyuan, condense the magical power. How much time is saved? Fang Han, with your qualifications, I will soon be able to understand the true meaning of Xiaosu Mingshu from this syllable. After Fang Qingxue finished this syllable, he shook his head and still sighed, but you are best. Don't comprehend. Otherwise, your character will definitely be the same as me in exchange for the supernatural power of life. Although you keep saying that Shouyuan is not worthy of exchange for supernatural powers, you have always said one on the surface and another set on the back. The table is not as good as one. Snow Master is really understanding me. I am really a superficial set, behind the set. Fang Han heard this evaluation. There is no sputum on his face. The avenues have yin and yang, let alone our practitioners. Hey! Good opportunity. The power of the world, inject Wang Ding, 8 furnaces, 2 in 1, disintegration. At this moment, the wooden Taoist people conveyed a burst of drink, and with a little hand, gathered a trace of the power of the world together, and suddenly entered the 8 furnaces and 5 prison king tripods. Bang! These 2 treasures, suddenly disintegrated, evolved into countless vitalities. In the vitality, a large array of people was operating in it. Under his tyrannical mana, it directly disintegrated the treasures. The strength of a giant can indeed disintegrate the best treasure. You must know that the refiner of the 5 prison king tripods was just a supernatural god. Far more than the ancient giant. Under the tyrannical power of the wooden man, the great masters of the 2 great treasures gradually merged together, especially after they were contaminated with the power of the world, and there was a capital that became a Taoist. After the disintegration of the 5 prisoners, the wooden people continued to spurt out the vitality, leaving only a coarse stone tablet, which was engraved with a rune of paintings full of magical patterns. This is the core of the 5 prisons, the spirit of the prison. This monument is a refining of a magic stone. It is with this monument that the 5 prisoners have produced such a powerful force. However, this prison monument has not been able to turn into a wise spirit. But now it is not the same. Under the infusion of the Taoist people, the fast prison gods gradually began to melt, and it became a big man. The tattoo of the dragon pattern. Moreover, the 5 prisons Wang Ding thoroughly swallowed the 8 melting pots, not only have all the characteristics of the 8 furnaces, but also the original characteristics of the 5 prisons. The change has become a Tao, the fusion is too perfect. Fang Qingxue, Fang Han, Indigo, Nebula Baby, Black King were shocked and saw the birth of a lower quality device. The 5 prisons and the 8 furnaces are completely integrated, and the change has become a lower grade. Now, among the 8 floating sects, 8 magic weapons, one finally has changed into a Taoist device. The power of the 8 floating sects kept rising. The new sizzling furnace, which turned out to be slightly rotated, the whole 8 sacred towers seemed to be in a smelting taste. All the vitality began to be methodical. Rotating, they all inhaled into the newly made ball furnace, and then spit it out to moisten the space in all directions. If you say that the previous 8 floats, the inside of the celestial spirit, the devil power, the power of various stars, the Buddha light, the 5 elements of the spirit are somewhat messy, then now have this device and furnace, it is really on the right track. It is reasonable, and it is working neatly and in accordance with the power of the 8 Buddhism itself. Okay. Actually, the Dan furnace was made into a tract. This is the next 8 battalions, the power is stronger and stronger. Fang Han saw this scene, and he was happy, and he also lamented the power of the giants. If it weren't for the Trojans, the masterpiece of the ancient giants, even if the 2 Dan furnaces absorbed the power of the world, they could not advance. Fang Han is also useless. The power of Fang Han is strong enough to kill the giants of the ancients, and it is not a substitute for the giants of the ancient times. Only the giants of the ages can refine the deportation. This is the law of iron, the eternal truth. If you can put the gongs and drums, the morning bell, the Ming Wang axe, the splitting of the sky, the Dragon King's ruler, the fate of the ball, the mother-in-law rosary into a Taoist device, the 8 floating bat tails can be regarded as really small. The power is still afraid of the big chaotic mine. Above the sword. The wooden Taoist side, unfortunately, with the strength of one person, even if it is 5,000 years, it may not be able to complete this vast project. If you can fund you can also turn the dragons into the way, convert to you, and then take the wishfulness. At the turn of the road, the 3 giants joined forces. As long as there is enough material, it is not difficult to refine the road. There are 8 layers of 8-layered floating battalion, and there are 8 core magic weapons. The Dan furnace is called the 8 melting furnaces, which is the coordination of the entire tower. The gongs and drums, the morning bell is used to refine the heart and refine the heart. As for the Ming Wang axe, the cracked Scorpio is attacking and surrendering the devil's head. There is also a crystal ball called the celestial life ball, which is used to calculate the secrets of the past and the future. The rosary, called women's rosary, is even more mysterious. It represents patience and perseverance. If the practitioners carry this rosary, they can have unparalleled endurance. Mother-in-law is the meaning of patience. When the 8 magic weapons are turned into the next class, the 8 floating sects will undergo earth-shaking changes. Really small, invincible. When the 8 magic weapons are turned into the perfect weapon, the 8 floating sects will be truly big, and they will be operated. Can kill the master of the level of the emperor. Rui is impossible to ferry, killing him at most. Even if he died, the feather door will let him die decently. Fang Han eyes cold, it is a dragon, I can turn him. Wood Road, you knowing the various conditions of the dragon Jupiter, when I completely solved the wishfulness, I went to Long Jupiter to find him to turn him over. You are willing to help? Of course, the dragon road is my good friend, and I am still sinking into the sea of bitterness. I naturally can't bear to see him go so badly and help him get on the right track. That is an unshirkable thing. The wooden Taoist chanted a Buddha number, kindness and kindness. It seems to be a compassionate man who saved his friends. Fang Qingxue is dumbfounded. Great chaos thunder. Fang Han took a hand, hee. This sword, which has received great benefits, flew into its own palm. The body has undergone tremendous changes. The blade is shaking at random, and the space on all sides is ruptured. There is a sword, and there are thunder in all directions. They all gathered on the sword. Then the thunder on the sword, a little more and more, turned into a strip of 5-jawed thunder dragon, roaring everywhere. Spit out one by one of the ball lightning. Fang Han's thoughts on a little fortune even found that there was one more law in the Great Chaos Thunder Sword, which was called General Arch of the Taiku Heavens. It turned out to be the peerless supernatural power of Fang Qingxue's practice, and the thunder and righteousness of the ancient lady's electric mother. It is conceivable that the invincible electric symbol also received the inheritance of Great Chaos Leifar. Both pieces of power are greatly increased. Fang Qingxue did not recover the not extinguishing electric sign. Instead, he snorted, and this electric sign revolves around the side of Fang Hanju and cooperates with the Chaos Thunder. Fang Han, there are still 7 days, you will kill the wishful child. If the wishful son got the big wild furnace, then you have to kill him. I am afraid it is not enough. This inexhaustible electrician and the big chaotic Lei Jian match, both in one, you can smash the ancient wild furnace. Finally kill him. Fang Qingxue finally decided to lend the inexhaustible electric sign to Fang Han to kill the wishful child. Thank you, my sister, I have a 7-point grasp of my murder, and now I have 90%. In these 7 days, we have all cultivated in the 8 Buddhism, saving spirit, when it is time to kill this scourge. Great chill in the heart. Now you challenge the things that are going to happen, spread out, and don't know how much sensation will be caused in the monastic world. This is a blue sky, but Rui has made several giants outside, called Sanjian Alao, this time. I will definitely come to watch, you have to be careful. Fang Qingxue reminded. 3 immortals and 2 old, Rui is a wishful immortal, there is also a beautiful mustard, copper feet fairy. Called the 3 cents, Yun Yun, Lu Lampa, called the 2 old. Is the wishful son outside the practice of making some Hu Peng friends, but I have a clear understanding of the car and horse, is on the Tianhuatai of the Yuhuamen, they dare to help each other. This is the authority to challenge the door. Fang Xiaoxiao, Rui's few friends, 3 immortals, he had already known from Yang Shui. However, they are not afraid of their actions. A few scattered repairs, what are you afraid of? The Wanbu giant with the background of the big martial art did not dare to offend, but this kind of dispersal is not afraid at all. That's good, I am also among the 8 Buddhism, and I have a good understanding of the mystery of the big chaotic Leifar. After 7 days, look at Fang Han, you will show your style, the Rui. This is the monastic world. A difficult thing, if you don't see it, then you have passed this life. Fang Han, I did not think that when you brought you into the feather door, you will make a character like you. Fang Qingxue sat down on the knees. The sister-in-law praised it. I got Huang Quan too, I served Jiui Jindan, and Bai Hai Hai as a teacher. It is still using the sister to enter the Yuhuamen. But in order to cultivate the magical powers, the sister-in-law abandoned the lifelong for thousands of years. I must find the medicinal herbs that will increase Shouyuan and fill the Shouyuan for the sister. Fang Han dignified the road, I have nothing to do with coldness, but I am good at making magic weapons and medicinal herbs. It must be on the poor blues to drop Huangquan, and get countless remedies for the sister. No, even if there is an increase in Shouyuan's medicinal herbs, I will not take it. The monasticism was originally a difficult road for the straits. I took a few thousand years of life and used a small fate in exchange for the cohesiveness of Shentong. The road to the future, with great determination to attack the longevity secret, become a giant of the ages. If it cannot break, let me completely disappear. I am absolutely not reconciled, 1,000 years and 1,000 years of cultivation, but can never break through. Fang Qingxue's tone revealed a sudden coming. Sister, your perseverance is absolutely above me, Fang Han admire. This time is really admired. 6 years of Shouyuan, only 6 years of life in the district. When the time is over, the oil is dry. The cold is awe-inspiring, watching the woman who is jealous of others and who is also jealous of herself. Don't say anything else, practice. Now I think outside, it has already been earth-shattering, and the spread has been raging. Fang Qingxue completely closed his eyes. She only has 6 years of life, she must race against time, plunder her spirits, and be brave and motivated. There can be no delay. Otherwise, when she arrives in 6 years, she will completely disappear between heaven and earth. At this moment, many of the 8 floating sects have been practicing hard. One heart and one mind, only 7 days later, Fang Han and Rui's decisive battle. However, they practiced and did not hear anything from the window, but after 3 days, the entire monastic community completely knew that a fatal disciple of Yu Huamen and challenged a giant of the ages. And make a decisive battle between life and death. Originally, as long as it is a person with a little common sense, I will feel that the disciple of the magical mystery is a madman, and I don't even care about it, but this time it is different. The disciple of the magical mystery is Fang Han. Who is Fang Han? Now in the entire monastic world, the reputation has been raised. First, the relics of Huang Quan's emperor are obtained. Then, the one-person Jin Dan disciple is killed, and Jin Dan is dedicated to Linglong Shenzuan. In the longevity of Linglong Shenzuan, he defeated Zhu Weiang. Mountain, Jiaofei, Devil Shui, got the inheritance of the 3 supernatural powers. Even after the exquisite and blessed land, I encountered the killing order of the heavens, and the dragons and the Taoist people did not kill him. This kind of tyrannical plague has spread in the monastic circles. They all know that Fang Han's mana is boundless, and the magical powers are vast. Like the Yang Shui, Fan Qingying and Hua Qian, they are all characters who can compete with the long-lived mysterious giants. Now, even on the longevity list, Fang Han has been ranked first. Such a person, challenging the giants of the ages, is really possible. Therefore, this battle has been discussed by many people. I look forward to seeing the characters in the mysterious world, and can overcome the giants of the ages. The news is always the fastest. After 3 days, almost all the fairy martial art, the Magic Road Gate, the Demon Road Sect, and even the Underground Demon, the Sixth Squad, the Judingshuan, the Tiandate 3 Chambers of Commerce, the royal family of the Great Empire, some powerful scattered the martial art school knows this thing. Even all the masters want to go to the Feather Gate to watch it. It's so arrogant, I am so angry, I can't think of Fang Han. You are actually shocked and escaped. I escaped the pursuit of the giants of the ancients and returned to the door of the feathers safely, and immediately started to fight with the giants of the ancients. I am so discouraged, I should be sincere. I am not as good as it is, but I have not lost it because of losing in your hands. It is nothing to lose in the mysterious secrets. Whoever first steps into the longevity and achieves the ancient giants is the real achievement. In the fierce hurricane, the devil handsome, Ying Qianqing, holds a letter in his hand, standing on the top of a towering mountain peak, looking into the distance. At his feet, the whole mountain is a white color. This is the mountain gate of the congenital Mo zone. It is actually a white bone mountain. All of them are piled up by hundreds of millions of white bones. Among the ancient mountains, there are many palaces that stand in them, and they are all built with white bones. The white bones are mountains, the white bones are palaces, showing the magic of the forest, rising to the sky. This is the real magic door, there is a magical weather, and the fairy road is very different at first glance. Emotion, are you still trying to lose something in the hands of Fang Han? A voice, after the sound of the heavens, the magician quickly looked back and saw a middle-aged scribe, dressed in a brocade, like a secular the taxi driver, with a warm face like jade, showed a refined atmosphere and quickly bowed his head, Father. This middle-aged scribe is actually the first master of the magic gate between the world. After Huang Quan, the magic gate is to respect him. Congenital Emperor. Should be congenital. Is this the latest news? Fang Han has successfully returned to the Yu Huamen, and then challenged the wishful son. Should look at the letter of the devil's hand, smiled slightly. My father has already known it. I was in a retreat and I received information from 6 scattered people using Ludeo-Beogian, so I knew this thing. I have a lot of interest in this Fang Han. I want to go to Yu Huamen to watch it. Unfortunately, I and Feng Baiyu both loved a woman in the past and made a difference between each other. I really didn't want to see him. I should sigh in a hurry. Feng Baiyu has recently been repaired as a big forward, and he has got the Emperor's mirror. We will fight sooner or later. But since I lost in the hands of the old man, I realized the ultimate in the magic door. The realm is already better than the wind white feather. It's a bit higher, it's seen in the day, and it's a result of the year's cause and effect. Does the father and the wind white feathers for the sake of both women? Is it Linglong Shenzuan? The devil asked tentatively, but he knew that the magic door was casual and asked that these should not blame. I went to exquisite blessings to worship the life, seeing the exquisite fairy goddess display the great wish, defeating the emperor's heaven and the heavens, the imposing manner. It is simply to suppress the heavens and the world. Only such a good woman is worthy of the father. Go chase it. This is what you guessed wrong, not exquisite fairy. For Linglong, I only admire, and there is no idea. Besides, Linglong does not belong to anyone. She belongs to the fairy world and belongs to the legend. It belongs to the legend. It is never for people to master. She is the one who wants to break free from the fate of shackles. The woman I compete with Feng Baiyu is a woman of the stars, dazzling. Not in the world of Xianhuang. It should be innately engulfed in deep memories. The Promised Star Palace, the Promised Star Palace, the woman, is the palace owner of the Promised Star Palace. In his mouth, he said 4 words. The Promised Star Palace? What is the martial art? Asked the devil. That is the mysterious starry sky, even older than Tai, and a huge martial art. Now the stargates are just a branch that it has spread. It should be said, this time, you will replace me. Go to the feather door and take a look at the situation where Fang Han and Rui are playing. Father, I am not willing to go. Devil said, Fang Han is also my opponent, I will beat him sooner or later. I am preparing not to exceed him, and I am not willing to see him again. All right, you have such an idea, very good. It is the most outstanding one among my sons. After that, the congenital demon sect will be taught to you sooner or later. Otherwise, I will not take the final law. The eyes are taught to you. You should see the magic handsome refused, but the heart is happy. I don't think I was so valued by my father, but unfortunately, I lost to Fang Han and lost my face to my father. The devil looked down deeply. Don't blame you, this can't blame you. It's not that you lost to Fang Han, I lost to Huang Quan's emperor. You and Fang Han's confrontation, in fact, I should be inconsistent with the death of Huang Quan, the emperor. Huang Quan, the emperor for thousands of years, the first outstanding generation of my demon door, the magic power is deep, even after death, the air transport has been shrouded in his descendants. Should shake the head. Right, father, you said that if Huang Quan is still alive, and the old man of the demon, who will be stronger? Mo Shui once again asked, the old man, the father and his wife admire him. He should be able to compare with Huang Quan. Let's go. It's not good, it's not good. It should be said in advance, Huang Quan, the emperor, has completely separated from the magic road, mastering the power of reincarnation, and practicing the great reincarnation, which can be compared with the exquisite big wish. If Huang Quan is resurrected now, Ling Long can't beat him. In pure power, the old man can't stand shoulder to shoulder with Huang Quan. But the realm of the old man is very mysterious. He is close to the realm of Supreme, even if he kills him completely, as long as in this universe, the soul of the soul is powerful to a certain extent, he will be born again. Come from the heart of the devil, from the heart of the devil. This is the highest realm of my demon door, free spirit. Between heaven and earth, there is what is higher than the sky. There is only one, that is the heart. Between heaven and earth, what is higher than the sky? Only the heart. Mo Shui chewed this sentence, seems to be comprehending something, but still to be enlightened and integrated into cultivation. I think that since Fang Han is a descendant of Huang Quan, the old man of the demon will also notice him. The old man of the devil has always wanted to find a descendant in the world of Xianhuang. He found the Jiao Fei of the Tongtian sword. Unfortunately, it is too far from Fang Han. Jiao Fei is certainly not as good as Fang Han, but in the field of monasticism, it is a rare talent. If there is no Fang Han, this is a stunning figure, and the achievements will not be low in the future. But Fang Han has Huang Quan's body. Air transport, so everything will go well. Father is an adult. The devil looks down. Air transport, this thing, illusory, no one can say clearly, do not understand. But since you do not want to go, just enter me with the magic palace, I will help you use the Eye of the End method, see all the movements on the side of the feather door. I practiced the Eye of the Last Law, just to see the world of Ju Tian. I can't see the depths of the Yuhua temple, but the heavenly platform can still see clearly. The first person of the demon door should be hand in hand, and an eye of the end of the law in the magical eyebrows is revealed. This eye of the end of the law should be combined with many ancient giants of congenital and congenital morzone, refining for 1,000 years before refining. The upper quality road device, although not as good as the chaotic thunder sword, does not destroy the electric sign, but in the hands of the innate master it is able to exert its maximum power. Check out the world of Zhu Tian. Omnipotent. Thank you for your father, this time to see the eye of the end of the law. Look at the feather door. I will be able to step into the supernatural powers, change the realm of life, hope that you can step into the longevity secrets then Fang Han, become a giant. The devil knows that this is a great opportunity. How is Fang Qingshua's woman who is in love with you? I heard that in order to enhance her cultivation, Yuhua men specially let her enter the depths of the Yuhua temple, and use her willingness to reinforce her, even from the mad thunder. In the domain, the thunder and lightning spirits are used to give her enhanced power. Can you know what state this female cultivation has reached? I should ask suddenly. I lost in the hands of Fang Han, I want to intensively, the snow is temporarily forgotten. Devil handsome. Good, passionate, and forgetful. Love is thicker and thinner, this is also a realm. Waiting for me to use the eye of the last law, look at the state of this woman. Should first grasp the hand, tear a space crack, then stepping into the raging time and space storm, it disappeared directly. This method of direct force to tear the space is much more powerful than the big move of hating the emperor. This is the result of the extremely powerful understanding of space and time. However, it is that the realm of hating the gods is still weak, and it is better than the first person who is innate. Otherwise, the big move to practice the ultimate, you can cross the 18,000 worlds in a flash, tearing the world barrier. This should be incomparable. The gate of the Tongtianjian faction, Jiao Fei quietly sat in his own palace. Sitting next to him is a strong man who is fascinated by the ninth heaven and earth. It is a squad of Feng Feitian, the great elder of the Tongtianjian. The great elder of the Tongtianjian faction has a very good personal relationship with Fang Han. I received 1 million yuan of Fang Dan, worth 2 or 300 million Bai Yuan Dan, privately. It is definitely great. Jiao Fei, you lost in the hands of Fang Han, and don't be discouraged. Fang Han is indeed a tyrannical, and I have to admit that it is a rare talent for thousands of years. This time he actually challenged the wish. Both sides I have received the news of the life and death gambling contract. The teacher gave you a crack sign, which can tear the void at one time and move the distance of 30 million miles. You can use this to arrive within 4 days. Feathering the door, the teacher of the palm will let me marry you, and make a good relationship with Fang Han. Feng Feitian took out a jade box, which contained a charm containing the power of tyrannical space. From the Tongtian sword to the Yuhua gate, it must be flying for a month. Only by the power of the torn space can it be rushed in a short time. It doesn't matter. I have already agreed to Fang Han and set up a law enforcement team with him. By his means, he will be able to sway the fairy tales and pull up a huge incomparable force among the 10 gates of Xiandao. Jiao Fei took over this, cracking, and stood up and flew directly out of the Tongtian sword. Standing quietly in the air, no one around, he bowed to the void. Predecessors, even you let me rely on that cold. Yes, do you know why I have never accepted you as a disciple? It is your qualifications, although it is very good, but it is not suitable for practicing my big heart magic, and Fang Han is so different, I am on his body. Almost all see the shadow of the supreme demon. You go find him and trust him. The world of Xianhuang will face an unprecedented crisis. You may follow him, maybe there is a chance, otherwise you are within the Tongtianjian school. It's definitely a life of 9 deaths. The crisis is coming, and the existence of Tongtianjian is unknown. In his heart, there was a voice that seemed to be far from the depths of time and space. This voice is the voice of the hearted old man. What crisis? I can't keep it all. Hearing this deep voice, Jiao Fei was shocked and almost fell from the sky. This is a secret, can't tell you. Go, follow Fang Han. The words, the old man of the devil, went silent, and no one except the cope could hear it. This is a voice from the depths of his heart. It is a matter of self-question, and no one can hear it. Jiao Fei bite his teeth and suddenly tears the cracking on his hand. A vast force tears the space and reveals an endless storm of time and space. Then this force wraps him and projects it into it. Then disappeared? The world of Xianhuang is like a huge chicken egg suspended in the universe. Even the biggest stars in the universe, there is no 1/10 of the size of the world. The world of Xianhuang is surrounded by strips of air, each of which is known for several billions and hundreds of billions of kilometers. This is the atmosphere of the sky. Looking from the distant stars of the universe, this great world shows a status of utmost honor. It is surrounded by a nebula, and it seems to be borne by the nourishment of the great world. Within each nebula, there are thousands of planets. If this time there are highly sophisticated, such as congenital emperor, wind white feather, mixed heavenly people, hearted devil, red devil, from the distance you will find the world of Xianhuang. You will find on the central axis of the world of chicken eggs, the infinity is full of vitality, filled with condensed, breathful atmosphere, is simply unbeatable. On that central axis, it seems that there is a huge monster that can engulf the starry sky, plundering the entire Xianhuang big world. It also seems to be the ruler of the entire big world. Undoubtedly, this central axis hides the most sturdy martial art of the entire Xianhuang great world. The gate of the first fairy road is 2-1. The giant sect of the eternal God furnace. The gate of Taiyimen is on the central axis of the world of Xianhuang. One palace, the mountains, all floating in the endless void. The existence of Taiyimen, like the exquisite blessings, opened up a time and space in the axis of the Zhuanghuangda world. In the time and space of a ****, there is even a great day of creation, and the eternal light shines in the void. There was no dark place in the entire time and space. In this time and space, there is a fresh scent of fairyland everywhere, and even ordinary people can take a long time to live longer. Increase the life expectancy of 10 years and 8 years. If the practitioners practice here, I don't know how much benefit I can get. Numerous disciples practiced in this time and space. In particular, on the edge of this **** time and space, there are some dark space tunnels that seem to lead to some experienced battlefields. This is a virtual wormhole under the arrangement of Taiyimen. There is a stronghold in the Xianhuang big world and even the extraterrestrial stars. That is to say, if a disciple is in danger outside, the disciples inside can immediately go to any place in the Xianhuang big world to rescue through the wormhole. The center of Tai is a palace. This temple is 100 times the size of the Temple of the Feather, and above the temple there is a plaque with the words, Eternal Temple. This is the true core of Taiyimen. This palace is not an entity, but a temple evolved from the eternal spirit of the eternal God furnace, but it is no different from a real palace. One of the smoked waters has already embarked on the steps of the eternal temple. Congratulations to the Master Sister. She Master Sister actually stepped into the sky, become the giants of the ages. Really entered the longevity secret. Beside the Yangshui, surrounded by a large group of Tai's disciples. They are all young giants, the existence of the Jindan class, and there are also supernatural powers and 10 strong ones. Wang Qianyi, Zhu Yangyi, Zhu Chuyi. These characters are neatly bowing their heads to the smoke. It seems that I am too powerful and prosperous. After the sister enters the longevity, that one, the word should also be removed. It should be called Day, the head of Yangshui Tian. Yes, the one word of the sister can be replaced by the word Day. A disciple with a supernatural power and a life-changing disciple, Wu Rini also respects the incomparable. Tai's rules, after the true disciple practiced to Jindan, they changed the word, one, after the name, indicating that I am the only one. The true disciple's cultivation into the living life secret can not only become a deputy head, but also remove the word and change it into day. This is a treatment of honor. Even the elders did not, such as the undead body, Tang Jingshan, who was killed by the innate emperor, did not call Tang Jingtian. It is called the sky, except for the elders, such as Tai Huangqian, Tai Longqian, and Tai Yuqian. Who was killed by Ling Longxiantuan in the village of Sui Jinshan, is the head, two mixed. Mixed people, also known as two mixed. Now, the smoke can be renamed as Smoke Water Day. Senior Master of the Deputy Master, this time the Master respects you in the Temple of Eternity. Obviously, it is necessary to convene a conference to let the major sects come to celebrate. I have a giant of the ages. A disciple envied. The conference will not have to be opened, wait until I practice to the body of immortality. One of the smokes, as for the name, the deputy head, this will wait until I go in and see the Supreme Master. A combination of smoke and water. Recently, what news does Fang Han have to convey? When the Master came back, I asked Fang Han's news. It was really the husband and wife who sang, and Hua Qian's brother decided to pay attention to his opponent. But now the Master Sister has become a giant, the square cold is definitely not big. The sister of the sister, the Master Sister can kill him at any time. Wang Qianyi quickly complimented. Stop. The watery eyebrows are vertical. What is Hua Qian? Is it worthy of me? If he didn't use the big source as a dowry, in exchange for the opportunity to cultivate in the eternal furnace and with me. Marriage contract, I will look at him. Don't mention this person again in the future. I have cultivated in the eternal God furnace, and I have not been promoted to the Van Hoch giant. It is a waste. Yes, yes. Master Sister is just a nominal marriage contract with Hua Qian. As long as Hua Qian loses its use value, he can kick him away at any time. But now this person has heard that he has got young. The teaching of the technique has already become a candidate for the door of the feathering door. Wang Qianyi quickly said, but the Master Sister has now become the deputy head, and the promotion is fierce. I have more than a dozen deputy heads. I am retreating this time, I can immediately become an undead body. At that time, Yang Shui did not say, I have already explained you, let you pay close attention to the movement of Fang Han, and now Fang Han returns to the Feather Gate. No? Hurry up and tell me the news. Fang Han has successfully returned to the Feathering Gate. This is still really powerful. Actually, under the siege of the Van Hoch giant, it can run away. Now the six-way alliance of the longevity candidate list, Fang Han has been the first. And this time there was a sensational news. As soon as he returned to the Feathers Gate, he challenged the master of Huatiandu. The two decided that after a few days, they would die at the Qiantai. Rui had already sent the letter. 2-1 door, please ask a few elders who are 2-1 to go to Yuhuamen to watch the battle. Give him a testimony so that after he kills Fang Han, the exquisite fairy will blame. What? The cold challenge is like a child. The smoke was shocked, and the heart was faintly worried about Fang Han. Fang Hanxiu became the law of heaven and earth, and Shentong was more tyrannical than me. Moreover, he also turned a wooden Taoist man and got the chaotic thunder sword. With his character, he would not be targeted, and he must have a certain victory to be able to kill. Absolutely grasp the death of the child. I don't need to worry about him, but... Although Yang Shui knew that Fang Han's calculation was very deep, he would never do anything unsure, but he still had some concerns. Do you want to watch the Master Sister? You are now practicing in the realm of the giants of the ages, you can go to the feathers and martial arts. Let Yu Huamen see the momentum of my door. Xu Yanyi is excited. This is not necessary, only the giants of the ages. When I cultivate to the body of immortality, then it is considered to be a stable position. Well, you inquire about the news of the cold, and sue me at any time. Be sure to know the news of Fang Han all the time. The smoke and water are waving with one finger, and the water characters of the road are painted out and fall into the body of this group of Jindan masters. This is my C***** charm, and I have telepathy, as long as you have a party. The cold news, immediately enter the character, I can get it here. You go to the 6th League to buy news, go around to inquire about the news, as long as it is about Fang Han, you can report it to me anytime, anywhere. Waiting for me from the Eternal God Furnace retreat, have your benefits. Yes? Master Sister. Many Jindan people are all screaming, and the smoke and water that has been promoted to the giants of the ancient times has obviously become one level higher than them. They must be respected, and the smoke and water are the reincarnation of the of water, the future practice, and the improvement of the realm. It will be much faster than the average Van Gogh giant. The smoked water nodded with satisfaction and stepped into the temple of eternity. Gradually deep into the depths of time and space, suddenly a strong force, she took the photo to the past, then she saw several shadows, branded, in the void. One of the shadows looked at her. Good, 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 Smoke, one, you really eager to go, actually went out to travel and then promoted to become a giant of the ages. Finally stepped into the longevity secret. I am too a sign of prosperity although I have suffered a loss under the exquisite hand, but you can be promoted to the ancient giant, it is a happy event. This shadow, it is too mixed with heaven and earth, too one to teach the supreme. And those few shadows are two old elders, each one is shocking the heavens and the world, the invincible, mana traversing the superbig shackles of time and space, can refine the planet. It is precisely these few elders, too one is the peak of the real world. Tens of thousands of years without being obliterated. And more prosperous, this kind of character, with the power of the world, refining all kinds of magic drugs, is simply a hand. What is more powerful is that with the power of the eternal God furnace, it is possible to smash the sacred devices of the major sects. Especially in the rumors of Taiyiman, from time to time, you can receive the fairy tales, communicate the mysterious fairyland, and there are celestial hoods on it, representing the heavens. The teacher respects, the smoke and water do not disgrace the mission, and finally cultivated into the longevity secret, and also realized the mystery of the immortal body. Now that there is enough energy, you can thoroughly refine the body and combine the heavens and the earth and the flesh. It has evolved into an undead body. Now it is necessary to use the eternal furnace to retreat and cultivate, and hope that the teachers will be honored. The smoke is low. Of course it is perfect, this is also the door rule of my feathering door. Any disciple who has stepped into the secret of longevity can have a chance to practice in the eternal furnace and wash away the body with eternal instinct. Only one break, that is to let China every day has entered once, but this is also an exchange. Hua Qian has given us the secret of the great source of technology. In contrast, we are still too cheap. The people of the heavens made a voice, from now on, the smoke is one, you are no longer a true disciple, but I am too one of the deputy heads. This is the deputy of the deputy head. For me, the elders below Jindan and disciple, have the power to kill. Your name is no longer a smoke, but a smoked water. You have to remember. A golden light fell into the hands of Smoke Water Day. At the first sight of Smoke and Water Day, it is like a gold and gold, like the jade and non-jade. It depicts a cross-shaped dragon shape with a word in the middle. This is the token of the deputy head. For the disciples below Jindan, you can arbitrarily execute it without having to report the martial art. This rite is big, and the master of the 5-day heaven and earth can be executed. This is the deputy head, power is second only to the head. Even some elders have to be respectful. For example, Tang Jingshan, which was killed by the innate emperor, has become an immortal body, but it does not dare to offend the smoke and water, because the smoke and water is the deputy head. The door rule of Taiyiman is far more strict than the feathering door. Unlike the feather door, the powers of several deputy heads are similar to those of Rui, and the relationship is even worse than the rules. This kind of deputy head token, I have a total of 17, and you have a total of 18. After I retired, that is, among the 18 of you, you will choose an outstanding person to take on the task of teaching too much, to unify the world of Xianhuang, and to have supreme power. So, Smoke, you are promoted to the giants of the ages, and don't slack off. The Qiandao people warned that another gourd was lost. In this gourd, there are 20 pieces of Taiqing Yuye Da Dan, as a reward. I also have a pair of dragon elephant swords, which is a dragon soul. And the 36 heads of the white elephant monsters that have been cultivated into the realm of the heavens and the earth, the magic weapon of the essence of life, the middle of the road. The combination, the power is endless. Although you have the of the sea, but you have to rush to build an immortal body, it will definitely merge with the spirit of the instrument. After the fusion, the Bohai Pearl will be restored for at least a few thousand years, and the power will be weakened. These two dragons are like swords, which are used to kill you. A long scorpion sword, an ivory long sword, fell into the hands of the smoked water, between the swaying, the dragon like a strong rolling. The teacher does not know, I still have a Shangpin in my body, hate the heavenly compass. I will merge this compass and make it into an undead body. The of the sea is my life, and I am a big man. After entering, the power will be fully exerted, tearing the water with a void, and freely shuttle. How can it be used for fusion? Or Fang Han Hao, such a top grader will give it to me, but unfortunately I can't go to the Feather Gate to see him and Rui. The duel of the child, otherwise, I will certainly not help him. In the heart of the smoke and water, I suddenly remembered the scene of Fang Hanjun, and suddenly there was some fever in my heart. Well, you go to retreat. I have opened the door to the eternal God furnace for you. A dark wormhole appeared, and the smoke and water leaped into the body. Just in the midst of the rewards of the heavens and the people, in the beautiful and huge palaces outside the eternal temple, several ancient giants sat together and discussed. Smoke water has become a smoke at this time. Water is gone, I don't know if she will directly become an undead body. If so, the threat to us will be great. She has a Shangpin Dao. We are not able to have it. She must be eager to cultivate an undead body, and she will definitely choose to integrate the spirits of the Bohai Sea Pearl. In this case, she will retreat to the end. A Shangpin Taoist, is it a child's play? Really exert the power of the Shangpinji, the undead body is absolutely it is not an opponent. And she chooses the fuser spirit, and after she has become an immortal body, the sea god beads will be abolished. Perhaps her fighting power is worse than now. That is. But she is the reincarnation of the of water, and now she is the deputy head, and we have a level of existence, in the Taiyiman, under one person, above the people. I am afraid that it will be even more difficult in the future. Hey, she is going to marry after all, and I can't do it. I am too one to teach the Supreme. Unless it is the Fang Han who killed Hua Tian. Right, you said that this Fang Han actually dared to challenge and as good as the child, but also a life and death duel, is it crazy? If Rui invited us to go to watch the testimony, let's set off now and join forces to display the law. Otherwise, we can't get to Yuhuamen. Go? Hey, too many of the scenes, flying a few figures. For a while, the wind was rising. Many of the characters, in these 7 days, flocked to the Feathering Gate, and they must watch the battle between Fang Han and Rui. These characters were arranged in the welcome hall next to the Yuhua temple. Anyway, they came to watch the masters. Sitting on the knees, silently, it is a few days and nights. However, this time the main test of the main party was cold and unsatisfactory, and none of them showed up. Fang Han has long blocked his reincarnation peaks and tried his best to cultivate the enlightened magical powers among the 8 floating sects. As for the wishful son, I don't know whether it is in the depths of the feathered Tiangong, or contact his own friends, the 3 immortals. Master. Fang Han is a shackle, it is really a confession. Actually so brazen to challenge you. And also took away my Jiogong Shwedagon tower. I immediately went out and killed this child. In the depths of the time of the Yuhua temple, Hua Tian has opened his eyes and showed strong anger in his mind. The opposite of him is the illusion of a person. This illusion is the form of the sacred child, but it is an avatar of the sacred child. The ancient giants have the means to directly use the heaven and earth aura to condense into oneself and turn into an incarnation. It doesn't matter. I don't know that I am very good at this obstacle. I am now with Tong Shuxian, Mace Huxian, Yun Yun, Lulanpo, and we are practicing together with your big wild furnace. Supernatural powers, and they will temporarily infuse some of their own fate, supernatural powers in my body. You will feel peace in the depths of time and practice, do not come out. You have to cultivate to the body of immortality, the status is stable, then the time 2-1 door to raise relatives, let the smoke water marry, the 2 joined forces, killing Fang Han as killing dogs. And this time, as long as the wind white feathers do not interfere, I can also kill him. But the wind white feathers will come out to interfere, I can also take him seriously and hurt him. Let him not recover. This avatar of Ruyizi sneered, not putting Fang Han in his eyes. Masters have a wide range of exchanges, and you have the power of 3 immortals and 2 old men. There is nothing to kill Fang Han. This time, the master will stay in Fang Han for a life, give him an unforgettable lesson, Fang Han's life, or let me come and kill him by hand. Hua Qian is relieved, and the shadow of this incarnation has gradually dissipated. Fang Han. I feel that I am going to cultivate my life and mystery. Once I have successfully cultivated, I will swallow this raw pill, and then use the energy of the eternal furnace stored in the body to refining. You can reach the undead body directly, incorporating the spirit of the ancient wild furnace. At that time, I have achieved the second most important thing in the longevity secret, and I can exert the power of the ancient 88 furnaces, refining and turning this obstacle into a vitality. Hua Qiandu sneered again and again. Faintly on the top of his head, there was a crack in time and space. In the crack, a mysterious portal was looming, that is, the door of the fairy world. He seems to be able to communicate the fairy tales. Anytime, anywhere, you can step into the longevity secret. Hey, brother, do you really care about this thing? Whether it is Fang Han or Rui, it is the backbone of my feathering door. Any loss of both sides is a great loss for me. Looking at the jokes, this is not the hard work of my feathering. At this time, the elders of the sentence were also in the depths of the other layer of the Yuhua temple, facing the wind-white feathers in a mirror. Feng Bai Yu, the feathered door teaches the supreme, at this time has penetrated into the emperor's mirror. Do not know whether it is the virtual shadow in the mirror, or the spirit of the mirror. The mirror sent a slight shock. God punishment, this matter has already been difficult to ride. If you do not let the two fight, the favor of either side will result in an unfair result. And the other side will give birth to a rebellious heart. Fang Han did not teach him the big yin and yang technique, which is actually in test him. You must also know what I mean. There are two outstanding disciples in the mountains, Fang Han and Hua Qiandu. There is always one who will inherit the head. Even if they fight each other, the most tyrannical one, it must be in the future. I can take my feather door to prosperity. Do you not know how to raise a donkey? It is to kill a group of poisonous insects. The one that survives is the king of the king. The way to cultivate the fairy is the weak meat. The winner is the king. The loser is the I was out of the true disciples, killing several of my brothers. I finally grabbed the position of the head. But I am afraid that Fang Han does not know the heights of the earth, so I am fighting with the wishful son, in case I am killed by the wishful son. Then we plan the Huangquan treasure house. Tai Yuan Shenfu's plan is not lost. The elders of the sentence hurriedly said, although Fang Han is a deep-rooted one, it is tenderer than the giant. Penal punishment? You are wrong. Fang Han is a child. He is not tender at all. Every time he does something, he has a certain victory. If he can really overcome the wishfulness, then I have to look at him. He also once again, to me, and the elders of the elders showed their potential. Hey! Originally 3 deputy heads, Chen Qianxia, Wang Daoling, Yi Jianqiu, thousands of years ago, was also a stunning generation, promoted to Wangu the giants, but did not think that their potential has been exhausted, and have been staying in this realm for 1,000 years, have not broken through the undead body. These years do not know how much resources I have consumed, how many immortals. I am afraid 3 people the potential is gone. It is no longer possible to take the position of my feathering door. Only let the later people replace it. Feng Baiyu sighed for a long time. Yu Huamen teaches a big position, more than 1,000 miles in the world. The king's position does not know how many times it is important. Can you easily hand it to an indifferent hand? That person must have enough strength. There are still enough opportunities, but also enough gas. Fang Han, Hua Qiandu, Meng Xiaobai, Fang Qingxue are people with air transport. The number of robberies is coming. I must use their gas. Only in this way can we escape from the robbery and master the entire world of Xianhuang. As for Rui, his potential has already been exhausted, and it is dispensable for the real cause of my feathering. Hey teacher brother, foresight, I understand. If Fang Han can pass the test, this victory over the wishful son, then the resources of my feathering door, the huge willingness accumulated over tens of thousands of years, there are several elixir, and feathering. Do you have to teach him the big yin and yang technique recorded in the flight? The elders of the sentence sentenced a lot. Give Fang Qingxue, Hua Qiandu, Meng Xiaobai what treatment, give him what treatment? No, I have to test him. If he has passed the test, I can even reward him with the Emperor's mirror. Feng Baiyu shook his head. Then go to the reception and come to many friends. I will come out and personally preside over the duel. The teacher is really good at heart. The other person's cold expectations are so big. I don't know if he can understand it. He has been persisting. As long as I am loyal to my feathering door, I can give him anything he wants. The elders of the sentence were slightly stunned and retired and disappeared. The reincarnation peak, the depths of the eight Buddhism, Fang Han is still practicing, his thousands of hands and thousands of eyes, the Buddha and the magic of the sacred world of the law, this time has been suspended above the head, trying to shrink. The body of the original 100 feet is now more than one person high among the pupils of those eyes, they all reflect their faces. Power is concentrated in infinity. Moreover, around this heaven and earth law, there is chaos, and the thunder and lightning shape surrounds it. It is the vitality of the big chaotic thunder sword and the inexhaustible electric sign. It is refining into the law of the world, adding more power. His cultivation these days has once again refined his own law of heaven and earth. Now it is incomparably pure, incomparably concise, and enriched. It contains a force that can invert the universe, shock the universe, and destroy the heavens and the earth. Now if his heaven and earth law blew himself up, it would be impossible to pull the ancient giant who was not dead to the road. After a total of 93 magical powers condensed into a world of law, after taking a bit of the power of the world, it began to change. Fang Han vaguely felt that he was not far from the realm of breaking through the magical powers. Once the magical powers are broken, once the realm of reincarnation changes, the mind will have a close connection with the universe of the whole world, and can clearly know how many days of life. The sea of knowledge will expand again and reach a limit. In the midst of it, it will sense the existence of the door of the fairy world. Moreover, the superb masters of the supernatural powers can use their own power to mobilize the aura of heaven and earth on a large scale, and even begin to use mana to calculate some of their own fortunes. The realm of returning to the sky is very mysterious. Fang Han urgently wants to hit this realm. This is the last heavy thing in the mysterious secret. Once it hits this realm, the 7 Life Xian Mendan will have a role. Also, at the top of the tree of the world, the prototype of a longevity fruit, although not a real longevity fruit, contains some essence of longevity fruit. After I practiced it to the supernatural powers and took it with the 7-story Xian Mendan, I will definitely break through this realm and become a giant. When I became a giant of the ages, I searched for the head of the emperor, and killed him, completely turned into a long-fruited fruit, and directly cultivated into an undead body. The feathering door teaches the big person is not my own. While thinking, one side of the thoughts exuded and filled the entire 8 floating sects. Bang! His concentrated sacred world of law suddenly spreads out, turning into a stream of air, in the blink of an eye, in every corner of the 8 Buddhism, every demon, every magic weapon, even Fang Qingxue, and so on. This is a circle. This for a moment, he had a feeling that the 8 Buddhism was himself, and he was the 8 Buddhism. This is the magic weapon of this life. Fang Han's heart moved, recovered the vitality, re-agglomerated into the heavens and the earth, and the body shook. A grey impurity was shaken off. Actually, it was just tempered by the 8 floats, and some of the impurities were once again taken out. This floating squad is getting more and more innocent. This video is end here. Like the video and subscribe to my channel.